Happy Monday! More like Happy Fun Day. I just invented that word. So Friday, the Daily Caller obtained video of a U.S. Senate employee having anal sex inside a historic Senate Judiciary Committee hearing room. Oh, applause. Thank you. Pro-anal sex in the Senate Judiciary Room, audience. But we don't have access to the video, so we had Gene, one of our producers, sketch a screen grab. There you go. Yeah, talk about yielding the floor to the next gentleman. Now, after the story broke, Democrat Senator Ben Cardin's office released this statement, quote, Aiden Mays Sarakopsky is no longer employed by the U.S. Senate. Well, good thing his ID badge had a picture of the back of his head. Security forces tell Fox News that Capitol Police are taking the matter seriously and charges haven't been ruled out. Now, either this was a rare event or maybe this year's Secret Santa gift exchange got way out of hand. But where else can you get paid to have sex in the workplace with a free colonoscopy? Only in D.C. are the aides so helpful they'll bend over backward and forward for you. I don't even feel dirty. Now, predictably, the ex-staffer responded by claiming that the outrage is homophobia. Quote, I have been attacked for who I love to pursue a political agenda. He even states that he'll be exploring his legal options. Exploring. Not the best verb. So he's lawyering up, and I guess we're all supposed to be scared. Well, let me be the first to say, up yours. Too late. But it's what liberals never understand. It's not the what, it's the where. The sex tape was filmed in the same spot where the 9/11 Commission had its hearings, where Supreme Court justices have been confirmed. So yeah, it's not about the sex act, it's where it occurred. You want to put on a Scooby-Doo costume and be walked on a leash by a guy dressed like Genghis Khan? Fine. We've all been there. I mean, we have, haven't we? But do it at home. And if you're going to get filibustered over a Senate conference table, at least use a coaster. Now, NBC wants to make this all about conservative outrage. We're not outraged, but hell, fine, we'll take it. At least we're standing up for something. Your right to be yourself doesn't confer more rights on you than the rest of us have, nor does it gain you extra privilege for whatever behavior. In fact, I know some people who got 20 years for trespassing in that building. And unlike the Senate aide, those guys got screwed in the Capitol. Right in the rotunda, which is not a euphemism. So welcome to the real world, where your equal rights also mean the equal obligation to behave responsibly, and also equal opportunity to be made fun of, because the jokes here are just too easy. I mean, just mentioning you had a staff position makes me want to pause and smoke a cigarette. Talk about a joint resolution. I'm against that motion proceeding. After all, that's one small caucus. But is that a veto or some guy named Vito? Sorry. Now, if you haven't seen the video, let's just say it doesn't leave much to the imagination. I haven't seen that much crack since I took that trip to the Liberty Bell. But I do fear that the hearing room is forever tainted. But the only real mystery is, who's the other man? If he's Republican, then they took reaching across the aisle a little too far. If he's a Democrat, we can only guess. Of course, over in the House, we know that Jamal Bowman has a thing for violating exits. Whoever it was, the point is that for the left, it's never just about expanding rights and privileges. It's also about destroying the borders that separate behavior. And it's always done with a sort of mission creep. You know, we're not supposed to notice the slow erosion, like having adult material in school libraries, or Marxist dance troupes in the White House videos, or Jesse Waters' hairline. But this is a White House that had Dylan Mulvaney interview Joe Biden, a fake version of Audrey Hepburn interviewing a fake version of a president. But he probably thought it was Audrey Hepburn, since he can't tell a staircase from a water slide. No wonder his Supreme Court nominee couldn't tell us what a woman is. He can't either. Meanwhile, statues of Washington and Jefferson are being torn down because, you see, that's inappropriate. Yeah, if only they were banging each other, then they'd be everywhere. You're not going to get that on Special Report. Since then, this White House has seen cocaine drops, a trans activist flashing her breasts on the lawn, a klepto in charge of nuclear waste, and then this year's Christmas video featuring anti-white, cop-hating commies, all on your dime. Yeah, there's no sex in that video. The only ones getting screwed are the taxpayers. But wasn't it supposed to be Trump that was going to violate the decorum of the office? Remember how they mocked Melania for blood-red trees and Donald for serving fast food to athletes? And the Dems, you know, they're the ones who were supposed to restore decency, like when they excluded Hunter's baby from the family Christmas stockings. Yeah, they left her out, but their dogs got stockings. I guess those mutts earned it for taking the blame every time there was an accident on the White House carpet. The takeaway, the left sees their mission as fighting the oppressors and destroying traditions without knowledge of either. And one's identity becomes a protective shield for any idiotic behavior. But there's a reason legislative buildings and cathedrals don't look like the Playboy Mansion. They're supposed to represent something sacred and exalted that governs human behavior. And then the Dems show up and the destruction begins. Drag queens in kids' schools and libraries, men and women's sports, tap dancing totalitarians in the White House. But recording a sex tape in the Senate may be the dumbest thing that's ever been done there. And Cory Booker works there. These kids need to learn that it's not all about them and their need to celebrate themselves. The state building belongs to the American people. It's ours, not yours. And really, don't film anal sex in a Senate judicial hearing room if you don't want to be judged. So let's keep that room porn-free, just like we're keeping two genders in Christmas, too. Whoever slides down your chimney is none of our business, and we intend to keep it that way. Let's welcome tonight's guest. For a guy named Hurt, he's easy on the eyes. Fox News contributor Charlie Hurt. He's a Bigfoot enthusiast because, like his fans, no one's ever seen one of them either. Comedian Jeff Dye. He's the only attorney general who can deadlift a Honda. Former active attorney general Matt Whitaker. And Ozempic hired her to be an after photo. New York Times bestselling author and Fox News contributor Kat Tiff. So, Charlie, it's not just Israel flooding tunnels.
I just want to tell you.
Our audience is so uncomfortable right now.
So good. Your audience?
Yes.
Your audience is?
Oh, yes.
I just want
Come on. You know how slow news is up to Christmas? This is like a gift from God. Thank you, God. For this.
God did this.
God did this. He said, God was like,
the Gutfeld show has been struggling with news. Let's give him a sex tape.
But this is a little bit too on the nose.
yes, it is.
For Gutfeld. And when it broke on Saturday over the weekend, the first thing I thought was, oh my goodness, and then the second thing I thought was, oh my goodness, Monday night's Gutfeld show is going to be the first time he gets to talk about this, and I'm going to be sitting right here.
Yes.
And this is why I got into the newspaper business.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I wanted to sit here on national television and talk about this with you. But I have to say that your monologue was like, it was absolutely Shakespearean.
Thank you.
It was, I mean, not that like, it was hard to find the double entendres, but they were there. And
right.
I think you tucked them into at least 3 or 4 into every set.
Yes, I slipped them in, so to speak.
Yeah, and all of this happened like at the very spot where Amy Klobuchar interrogated the future Supreme Court justice about his boofing and beer drinking, practices back in college. You also made a very important point, I think. I feel like genuinely sorry for this kid. I mean, this kid has been led to believe by sort of the left that that he has like this magic cape around him and he can do whatever he wants and it doesn't matter and it's not going to come. He found out that the magic cape doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't make him invisible.
He found out the hard way.
Yeah.
Jeff, is this worse than January 6th?
It is, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, for sure. I agree with him. That opening was so good. 22, if you're keeping count of butt humping double entendre, which I'm a fan of. That's pretty cool. Now, this whole story is a pain in the ass. And, 25. No, I'll be honest. When I heard that a staffer had sex in the Capitol hearing room, I was like, this guy rules. Yeah. That was my instinct. I was like, what? This is pretty awesome. This is like my type of politics. You know?
Right.
This is cool. But then I was annoyed that then he started to complain that the public opinion was homophobic. That's where he lost me.
Right.
Just double down, own it. Be like, yeah, I did a thing, man. You don't hook up at work. Like, this is edgy. This is good. But then for him to complain that it's homophobic, I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
It's not homophobic. This is a natural reaction to you being this gratuitous at work and getting caught.
Yeah.
It's like someone like, I don't know, looting a store and then getting in trouble and then blaming racism. You know?
That never happens.
Yeah.
All right, Matt. How uncomfortable are you feeling?
Oh, I'm tremendously uncomfortable.
I always think about you when we're doing these topics. It's like, how can I make you grimace even more?
Okay, well, I will try to cover my facial expression right now, but
What do you make of this story? I mean, we have to be very careful about it, but what do you think of the overall? What's your overall take?
my overall take is, unlike the comedy here, I think this is sort of a serious thing. I mean, it just shows a complete erosion of decorum and decency and respect for our institutions. But it's to your point, it's just this victimhood. It's this, somehow I did something wrong, but I'm in a protected class, and so I can, I'm the victim of some right wing. It's like we don't care. Nobody cares. It's the lack of respect and the defiling of what should be a fairly respected place. That's what. And again, this is as I was coming into this, kind of like Charlie, I was fearful, Greg, of being on this show and talking about this topic. So I'm going to throw it back to you.
Okay, you handled that quite well. That was quite a tightrope.
Professionals handle this.
Can we blame, Kat? Think about the Mile High Club. Do you think that could that be people always trying to find adventurous places to do things so they can brag about it? I'll start it with the Mile High Club. I blame Orville Wright.
Yeah.
That is his name.
The homophobia is where he loses me too.
Yeah.
Because what is he saying when he's homophobic? Like, I hope that you keep up this energy when it's straight Republicans doing anal in the Senate office and filming it. Like, no, because it's not a thing that happens. This is a thing that to my knowledge, no one else has done this, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. Okay. All right. That's what I thought. And also, how would you feel if that was your office?
Yeah, exactly. I often thought about that. Have people done things in my office when I'm not there?
Oh, yeah. You know it.
When you're the boss, you know it.
Yeah, we judge it pretty harshly. It's not like Bill Clinton recorded it.
All right, we got to move on.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.